Ladies and gentlemen, Erin Harkes.
Oh, I can't wait to disappoint all of you. Thank you guys so much for coming to this. This means the absolute world to me. We're gonna have so much fun, I hope. Thank you. Give yourselves a nice big round of applause for coming out. All right, and while your hands are all warmed up, let me know by round of applause, who here didn't get COVID? Nice, right? Can you believe that with what I do for a living, I somehow managed to not get COVID until today? I'm kidding. No, I got it. I got it back in September, or as I like to refer to it as late COVID. Like, nobody gives a shit anymore when you get it now, you know? It's like if you got it back in 2020, people would be like, okay, well, I saw you like a couple weeks ago, so technically I should quarantine for 14 days as well. And but I'll bring some soup by. I'll drop it off at the end of your driveway with a drone and leave it out there for 3 days, and then go pick it up with some gloves and bring it back in, and then boil it and then let it cool down. Maybe do that a few times and then eat it, and then when you die, I'll sing at your funeral. When you get it now, people are like, so what? I got it 4 times. I'm like, oh. Actually, I haven't got this variant yet. Cough in my mouth. My husband got it last summer, and I didn't get it. So I thought I was like invincible at that point. I mean, it helps that we never touch. But he did. He got it back in June, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to move into the guest room until you're feeling better, and any day now. I'm kidding. We've been together for about 11 years now, and I hear that some couples, after they've been together that long, start to get separate bedrooms. And I'm good. I enjoy sleeping next to him. We have a king bed. We take turns starfishing in. It's fine. Like, the bedroom's fine. There are so many other rooms that I would want my own of before a bedroom, okay? Like, I'm already very blessed that we have our own bathrooms. I feel like that's clutch in a relationship. Just, yeah, right? Your own bathrooms. I mean, it's bad enough that we share an exhaust system, right? Like, I'm sitting on the toilet, like, trying to turn the fan off with my foot, going like, what is he eating? Oh my God. See a doctor! I would love my own living room. That would be amazing, right? 24-hour sports-free zone, right? I'll tell you what you wouldn't find on my coffee table: nail clippings, that's for sure. Yeah. Instead, there would be tons of candles burning all day long, reeking of lavender. He hates the smell of that. He was like, why do you like lavender so much? I was like, because it calms me down. But mostly I would really love my own kitchen. Like, I think that would be amazing to have my own kitchen. Like, I would like to have snack time that's just mine without him having some like Pavlovian response to the fridge door opening, like, oh, we're gonna eat now? I'm like, no, I'm going to eat now. Can I have 5 minutes, please? It won't take long. I clearly do not pace myself. I just want to stand in the open fridge and eat a block of cheese like a candy bar in my own disgusting shame. 5 minutes! That's it. That's all I want. I would like to be able to prep vegetables in the sink without him washing his greasy hands over the top of them every time he comes in from the garage. So our dinner guests can be like, This marinade now, is it sunflower oil or 5W30? It's can't put my finger on it. Now, I'm not a jealous person. I'm very secure in our relationship, but there's one thing that I'm hung up about, and that's his relationship with the toaster oven. I don't understand. It's as old as he is. Like, he's had it since birth, I'm pretty sure. The thing doesn't even work anymore. Like, you know, the first piece of toast comes out perfect, 45 seconds, golden brown, perfection, right? Second piece, 6 days. And you know who's getting the first piece of toast? Not me, no. Started a piece last week for brunch on Sunday. Maybe it'll be ready. It's got like this glass door that you can't even see through anymore. It's just black. It's just disgusting. There are like crumbs that predate the Civil War. I don't even know if they had bread back then. It's just... I hate that thing. There's something up between him and that toaster oven. It's like when I come back from tour, I'm like, let me see your penis. I want to see if there's burn marks. So one year for Christmas, I bought him a new toaster oven. Beautiful, Breville, state-of-the-art, $300, stainless steel. Thing was absolutely gorgeous, right? He opens it, he goes, eh. I'm like, what? He goes, I've been researching. I had my eye on one. I was like, then fucking buy it. So I took it back. I gave him a gift card. Years go by. Then my birthday rolls around. Yeah, oh, God is right, yeah. I don't even need to finish this joke. You know where this is going. He got me a toaster oven. It's like, I thought you wanted one. I'm like, oh, there's so many things I want. I think I threw it out the window. Not sure what happened to that toaster oven, Mom. I'm still trying to figure out how he can somehow go into the kitchen for a glass of water and come out, and there are crumbs over every surface of my life. They're on the floor, they're in the sink, they're on the ceiling. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing in there? I think I figured it out, though. I think that he somehow programmed this ancient piece of shit to just, they're in cahoots against me. They're trying to make me fucking crazy. He goes in, he gives it like a little wink, and it shoots open that dirty door and sprays breadcrumbs across the kitchen like fucking machine gun fire, like, like, we'll get her. She'll move out. So we've been together for, like I said, 11 years, but we've only been married for about a year and a half. Can't imagine what took so long. It's fine. We got married during the pandemic. Do not recommend. Planning weddings are stressful enough, but planning one during the pandemic was no fun. But I also say that, we got married despite the pandemic, spending all of that time together. And anyone who knows me knows how much I work. I'm hardly ever home, right? And I used to say that the success of our relationship was based solely on the fact that we never saw each other, like two ships passing in the night, a couple of roommates. It was great, right? All of a sudden, I'm home all the time. And I would hear him on the phone with somebody. It would get to that polite part of the conversation where they would ask him how I was doing, because I would hear him go, well, she's home. All the time. And I'm like, I can hear you. He's like, I know. But my schedule changed drastically. I was home, I wasn't working. His schedule didn't really change that much. The poor guy's just sitting on the couch trying to watch TV. I'm walking in the living room every 5 minutes like, how's everyone doing? Where are you from? You learn a lot about a person when you're stuck together for that amount of time, too. We used to never get to really eat dinner together. So, the first few weeks was great, right? I'd be like, you want me to make a lasagna? Make it from scratch, right? Okay. Yeah, I'll start the sauce cooking. It'll cook all day. The house is gonna smell fantastic, right? Oh, I'll use that pasta maker you got me for Christmas a couple years ago. Make some fresh pasta. That sounds awesome, doesn't it? Maybe I'll bake some bread, right? Because we all got a sourdough starter now, right? It's gonna be amazing. What do you think? Think it sounds good, right? After like a month, I'm like, what do you want to eat? We eat in front of the TV. We'd be like having dinner together, you know, and I started to think things like, you know, has he always chewed this loud or do I just not love him anymore? I'm always asking him if he can turn the TV up. He thinks I'm going deaf. I'm like, I wish. He's an atheist, which doesn't bother me at all, except for when he sneezes. I don't know what to say. And he goes, you don't have to say anything. I go, yes, I do. It's rude. And he goes, fine, say anything you want. I go, fine, you're going to hell. No, for all the jokes and everything, though, honestly, he is so good looking. Like, my husband is so handsome. I don't know why you're laughing. He is. He's handsome. He's such a good looking man. He takes care of himself. I just love looking at him, and I feel so lucky that he's dumb. I'll be like ogling him, and he's like, I'm not a piece of meat. And I go, shh. After all these years, like, I still have a crush on him, though. Like, I still get, like, turned on. I love it. Yeah, right? Thank you. I'll watch him, like, get undressed for bed, you know? And I'm, like, all excited. Unless he takes his pants off before his shirt, because that's not a good look for a man, you know? Like, shirt off, pants on. I'm like, that's my favorite outfit of yours. Wow. Pants off, shirt on. I'm like, Winnie the Pooh. Hopefully not Tigger, too. Anyway, no, again, I kid. He's really amazing. I'm so blessed that I finally get to spend the rest of my life with the most amazing health insurance that a girl could ever ask for. People are like, where'd you go on your honeymoon? I was like, the dentist. Got drilled. Honestly, the dentist would have been better than our honeymoon. Our honeymoon ended up being kind of a disaster. We were staying in this Airbnb, and our first night there, while we were getting ready for bed, we got robbed. Yeah, some guy broke into our Airbnb and robbed us. And like, we called the host of the Airbnb, and we were like, we got robbed. And she goes, oh my God, nothing like that has ever happened before. And I'm like, of course she's gonna say that. What's she gonna say? Oh, that's Kevin? And of course, you know, my brave husband chasing him off in nothing but his boxers, because you know who wouldn't have scared that robber away, huh? Winnie the Pooh. But our wedding was, it was fine. This planning was stressful. One of the more stressful things about it was, I think, for some reason, my friends wanting to text me the week of to ask me what I thought they should wear to my wedding. And I'm like, I can't really think of anything that I could possibly give less of a fuck about. I'd be like, that's not nice. That's not nice. I'd be like, you know what? You could wear a plastic bag. In fact, try one on, put it over your head, pull it real tight, take a few deep breaths, and fucking die. And they're like, yeah, but what shoes? I'm like, you've been outside before, right? They're like, well, is it like indoor or outdoor? I was like, there'll be some indoor and there'll be some outdoor, like every other fucking day of your life. Figure it out. Get COVID. Here's my registry. My sister was my maid of honor, but she wasn't a very good one because she had just had a baby because she's selfish. And, you normally put that stuff on your maid of honor, and I just didn't have that. And that's fine. Like, I totally understand everything that she was going through. She was stressed out about bringing a 4-month-old to a wedding. I completely get it, right? Totally understand. Luckily, at like the 11th hour, her husband steps up. He's like, you know what? I'll come with. I'll watch the baby across the street so that she can come and go and do what she needs to do so that she can still go to the wedding. And I'm like, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And a few weeks after the wedding, my husband said, we should do something really nice for him because, we might not have gotten married if it weren't for him. And I was like, how do you figure? And he goes, well, we weren't going to get married without your sister there. And I was like, aw, the fuck we weren't. I mean, only 2 people needed to be there, and honestly, like the day before, I didn't even care if you showed up. But it's hard to stay mad when you have such a little precious angel, and this girl, she is the love of my life, my niece. I love this child more than I thought I could ever love a child. Like, she's just amazing. She calls me Ernie. I know. I hope she never learns to talk. I love it so much, but honestly, like, she could call me cunt, and I would be like, oh. So the last time I went to visit, she was just obsessed with me. She only wanted me to do things with her, like not her mom, me, right? Which is fine because my whole goal is to get her to like me more than she likes my sister. So I'm here for it, right? Yeah. I can't wait for you to run away. Come to my house. I haven't seen her. She's amazing, though. The whole bonding thing, I probably could have waited until after she was potty trained, though. I've gone my entire life without changing a diaper, and I could have gone the rest of my life without changing a diaper. But here we are, and my sister's going to change her, and she's fighting her every step of the way, and I hear my sister go, "You want Uncle Ernie to do it?" And she goes, "Uh-huh," and I'm like, "You little bitch, all right." And I lay her down, and I was like, now, are all babies dirty little exhibitionists? What is up? She throws her hands behind her head like she's sunbathing on the beach, right? And then she just ta-da, spreads them open and looks at me as if to say, your move. And I'm like, what? This feels wrong. I was like, should I be wearing gloves? Can I wear gloves? I'm like, this. So I cleaned her up. Luckily, it was just number one. Cleaned her up, and they were like, "Oh, you got to put her diaper cream on her." And I'm like, 4 feet away. Oh, you really got to get it around. I'm like, I'm just gonna put extra on and put the diaper on really tight, and it'll just move itself around when she gets up and walks. adapt. And then we went and played in her teepee, which is a lot of like getting in the teepee and then getting out of the teepee and then getting in the teepee and then getting out of the teepee and then getting in the teepee and then calling my chiropractor and like figure like I need a fucking break, right? So I like sit on the couch for a second and she wasn't feeling well. So she was a little moody and she came up and she's like, Ern. And I'm like, okay, all right. And my sister goes, you know you can say no to her. I'm like, no, I can't, you monster. She's got these big wet doe eyes. Like I would murder for this kid. So I get back in the teepee, I get back out, and of course 5 minutes goes by, so it's time to change the diaper again because children are disgusting. I lay her out again, take off the diaper, this time. I was like, this is my nom. And I just got up and walked away. I was like, nope. I go, it turns out I can say no to her. No. My sister, dives into action, takes care of it, and later on she was like, she goes, we don't want her to feel embarrassed. And I go, she should be embarrassed. That was disgusting. And she's like, well, it's really important. We don't want her to feel like shame. And I was like, I think a little shame would do her good, okay? With the whole hands behind the head, exhibitionist stuff. I was like, would you prefer I vomit on the child? Because that's what was gonna happen. And if we're worried about her first memory, I'm pretty sure Uncle Ernie puking all over her would top out her feeling shame about her shitty diaper. So I'll go back and visit after she's been potty trained. It's gonna be fun. But overall though, tons of respect. I could never have a kid, especially now, And while my sister's showing me things about how they have to deal with the kids now, when a kid used to fall down, you'd be like, oh, you're okay. No, you can't say that anymore. Because you want them to feel safe enough to tell you that they're not okay, to tell you that they're hurt. And I'm like, well, I'm not okay. I'm hurt. I am so glad I didn't do this. This is just I don't think that I am equipped to raise a child, mostly because I'm Gen X, right? Where are my Gen Xers here? You can't raise a kid like that anymore. You will go to jail. The only rule that I remember was come in before the street lights go on, right? You're gone all fucking day. Just come in before the street lights go on. I was driving past a lemonade stand last summer, and I mentioned to somebody, I was like, I haven't seen one of those in quite some time. They're like, well, it's really not safe anymore. And I'm like, I maintain that it was never really safe. Our parents just didn't give a shit, We were still getting kidnapped and molested, but it was if you came home before the streetlights went on, you wouldn't have gotten molested. Go wash up. So it's fun to listen to my mom try and give advice to my sister because there is a big age gap between their styles of parenting, right? My mom was a very young mom and and my sister had what they call a geriatric pregnancy. Not my words. She's old as fuck. Anyway, so there is close to 50-year difference between their parenting styles, and a lot has changed, right? And my sister's already on she's kind of earthy and crunchy, in her approach to certain things. And so she'll be when we first discussed the prospect of having children, we decided to plant a tree so that we could harvest the wood into a non-toxic crib for our sweet angel baby. And I reaped and sowed some oats that I could pulp into milk to feed the child when my breasts were too tender. I'm like, oh. And my mom is like, you had the cutest little dimple when you were a kid. It was the perfect size for holding my cigarette. While I fed you jarred preservatives with a lead spoon. You turned out fine. But it's funny, my mom, like, she's older. She's old school. That's what we say, because we aren't allowed to use the term boomer. And, like, she just has very, she's set in her ways with different things, and that's fine. But, like, you'll watch something like Mad Men with her, right? And I'm watching it and, like, getting, like, really uncomfortable and cringed with all of the amount of, like, sexual assault that's happening in each episode. And she's getting nostalgic and turned on. She's like, that Don Draper knew how to treat a lady. They don't make them like that anymore. He could tear off my pantyhose any day. Big difference. Well, luckily for me, people have finally stopped asking me when I'm going to have kids, and not just because it's none of their fucking business. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. We'll edit that. Make it sound like you really liked that joke. No, I mean, it gets old being asked that, and I guess that I'm finally old enough where people realize that I would, like, have, a three-eyed, dim-witted Ganesh monster baby. It's for the best. No, but people finally stopped asking me because, like, I would get asked all the time. They'd be like, do you have kids? And I would say no. And they would say, why? And I would say, because I don't want them. And they would go, why? And I would go, oh, I didn't realize there would be a follow-up question. Okay, let's see. I'm getting older. I'm in my mid-40s now. Be like, well, I had my David when I was 46. I'm like, well, good for you and your David. I'm like, well, with what I do for a living, I'm out a lot, I'm on the road, I go out late at night and stuff like that. Well, if you have a supportive partner, it's fine. I'm like, well, I don't have a supportive partner. My husband got a vasectomy. He did. Right? And they're like, those are reversible. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. He took a laser to his scrot. I'm pretty sure his mind is made up. Can we circle back to when I said I don't want kids and have that be the end of the conversation? And then they go, you'll change your mind. I'm like, all right, okay, all right. So I'm turning the tables now, right? I see somebody with kids. I'll be like, oh, you had kids? Why? Oh, I'm not even done with my line of questioning. I'm like, why? I'm like, did you not like your free time? You must have a lot of disposable income, right? Yeah. Can I have your toothpaste bathing suits? Because you're not going to be able to wear those anymore. It doesn't matter. You're never going to the beach again. Your life is over. It's fine. You'll change your mind. So I am at a delightful age. I am 45, and no, please. One person's like, no, we're not. I mean, oh, thank you very much. There are some good things about being this age. I can't think of any right now, but it's a magical time for a woman, especially when anything that goes wrong, you ask your doctor. and they tell you that it's perimenopause. Who here doesn't know what perimenopause is? It's fine that you don't, because it's fucking made up. It doesn't exist. It's bullshit. It's this blanket application that they just give to women over a certain age, and they're so fucking smug about it too. It's like, I'm getting like weird like hot flashes and stuff like that. It's perimenopause. I'm like, oh, all right, well, I'm going to the bathroom an awful lot. I'm like, it's perimenopause. I'm like, all right, well, my ear fell off. So wanting to not go down the Google wormhole, I go, what is perimenopause? Is it like pre-menopause? No, it's perimenopause. I'm like, okay, does that mean I'm about to get menopause? Like, no. It could be like 5, 10, 15 years. And I'm like, what are you, the fucking cable company? You can't narrow that shit down a little bit for me? Hormones are fun. The older you get, the harder it is to lose weight. And I don't go through like all this stuff. I have a pretty like healthy like body image, but I try to keep it trim when I can. And as soon as you look up like how to lose weight, the very first thing that they say is like, don't drink alcohol. And I'm fucking 12 years sober. I'm like, I should be invisible. Thank you. Yes, I am 12 years sober. Thank you. It'll be 13 in October, depending on you guys. I don't know, like, y'all shut the fuck up. No, so it is hard to lose weight. And again, I don't have any like unrealistic goals when I try to lose weight. Like, I don't want a thigh gap, but I would like to be able to wear shorts without it looking like my vagina is trying to eat them. Get out of there. Tried some extreme things. I was a vegan for a little while, but it was before I got sober. And I don't know if I was a good vegan, because I definitely never asked my Coke dealer if the baby laxative he was using to stomp on my blow had dairy in it or not. I'll never know. I tried intermittent fasting, which is actually really easy if you sleep till noon. Pro tip. One thing that sucks is that no matter how much weight I lose, I'm always going to have the same size head. And a few of you are already laughing, so fuck you. Anyway, it's big. And I guess it doesn't look big except for those of you that just laughed. But I know that it's big because I can't wear cute hats, right? Like in the summertime, the girls wear the fedoras and stuff like that. When I put one on, it sits on top of my head like a Monopoly piece. I look like Mr. Peanut. I'm like, how do you do that? And everyone always says the same thing. They're like, your poor mother. I was like, she wanted more kids. I made it easy for her. My little brother and sister walked out practically twirling canes. And we were Irish Catholics, so she probably had like 6 or 7 she didn't even know about. They just fell out when she was walking down the sidewalk. I mean, it's not the worst time in the world to have a few extra pounds because there's a lot of body positive campaigns now. And I think that's great. We're embracing women of all shapes and sizes. And I'm here for it, right? Like, what a time to be fat. Yay! Just be really careful who we're inviting to this party, okay? Because I got invited to something called a big girl pool party. And I was like, well, that just hurts my feelings. And I messaged the host and I was like, why would you invite me to this? And she goes, well, in the summertime, we big girls got to stick together. And I was like, in the summertime, I stick to enough things. And I'm good with aging. It's fine. What the fuck else am I gonna do about it, right? I try to embrace it as often as I can, but there are some parts that don't seem fair, right? Like now I exercise fairly often. I never used to exercise, not a single bit, right? Now I'm exercising fairly regularly. I eat really well, like I never used to eat well, right? Now I'm like portioning and weighing my organic food. I have a fucking scale, guys. I never used to eat like that. Why am I twice the size I was in my 20s? It doesn't seem fair, right? Like I think about how I used to be able to go to bed, full face kabuki makeup, half a Big Mac in my mouth, and would somehow wake up clear, fresh skin, 40 pounds lighter than I am right now when I stop eating 4 hours before going to bed, which is okay because that's how long it takes for me to perform all the witchcraft to make sure that I don't turn into a fucking Shar-Pei. I miss cocaine. I mean, I'm glad to be sober, and sometimes people are like, you should talk to schools and stuff like that. I'm like, I'll talk about everything except for cocaine. That shit's great. I honestly don't know if I was thinner back then. I just felt real good about myself. I took appetite suppressants once, but I think that the manufacturers of that pill strongly underestimated my ability to eat whether or not I had an appetite. I'll power through. I am very, very careful about what I put into my body these days, and I have been anti pills and medications for the longest time because I worry about things like that. I take my sobriety very seriously. Let's see, first thing that I went on some anti-anxiety medication a little while back because I'm not normally this chill. Can you imagine me without it? Let's see, I'm also a singer, and thank you. Thank you so much. That, and I'm a sucker for applause. There's no real joke here. I just wanted you guys to clap. No, I am a singer, and I've had some vocal issues, some pretty serious vocal issues. And I went on steroids one weekend to get through the weekend, and I was really nervous about taking them, and of course they're always like, they're not habit forming, and I'm like, tell that to my nasal spray. And And I'm like, of course that weekend I sang better than I ever sang in my whole life, right? So down the road a ways, I have a big weekend coming up, I'm feeling a little hoarse. Immediately I'm like, I'd really like to be able to get my hands on some of them steroids. And I'm like, junkie, no, that's a bad junkie, no. And I called my therapist to tell on myself, and I was like, is it bad that the first thing that I wanted to do was take drugs? And he was like, relax. He goes, it's not like you were boiling down pig bones. And I'm like, and? Give me that recipe. But the vocal issues is not just a problem on the stage, it also has been a bit of a problem in the bedroom. Because, some women sound like, and I sound like, that feels good. one of my doctors suggested that I go on some ADD medication or yeah, ADD medication, which is another thing. Like, I mean, who doesn't have anxiety and ADD, right? These days, we all fucking have it. But, like, the anxiety is one thing. The ADD is also problematic in the bedroom, you know, because, like, he's, like, talking dirty to me, and I'm thinking about the time I called my 4th grade teacher mom. I'd be like, I'll be right back. And I go in the bathroom and he thinks that I'm like freshening up or like putting in a diaphragm and I'm like snorting a Ritalin. I'm like, we're gonna come tonight! Focus! I mean, it's hard enough for us ladies, you know, even without the ADD. I mean, if you think about it, your entire existence is evidence that your father had an orgasm, but not necessarily your mom. If I had to think about it, so do you. Who here hates road bikers? It's a really bad time to tell you that I'm a road biker. I know, you're like, that must be the worst exercise ever. Anyway, I know that a lot of people hate road bikers. I get it. For the most part, I hate them too. But it's really important that we don't generalize because not all of us are assholes. Some of them are, you know. I get it. They don't obey the traffic rules. They're out in the middle of the road. They wear those super tight shorts that look like they took a shit in them. They're just walking around with a dump in their pants all day. You know, horrible, horrible people. I get it. I get it. But I like to think that, you know, to an extent, you guys like me. So next time, picture me when you see a road biker. Maybe just give them a little bit more room. Like I was riding the other day, and this guy came so close to me that I could see he went to community college for 8 semesters. So close to me, and then swerves to miss roadkill. Wow. Right? Wow. I got a solution. I'm just gonna carry a backpack full of dead squirrels and be like, look out! Like a lot of times I'm out on the road because I'm avoiding like potholes and broken glass and dead animals and stuff like that, and it's dangerous, you know? Like just give us a little bit of space. The most dangerous thing though is that there's something that folks do called roll-in coal, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. It's where a truck will pull alongside of somebody on a bike and they rev up and then they just shoot exhaust out all over them and speed off, right? And you're covered, you can't breathe, you can't see. I know, and it's happened to me a few times, right? But it's important not to generalize. I don't blame every white man in a pickup truck for this. Because I'm married to a white man with a pickup truck. But he doesn't do things like that because he has a regular sized penis. As I mentioned before, I am a musician. I have a band. I have a whole new band because during the pandemic I fired my band. Just a great thing to do right before wedding season. Completely clear thought. It was necessary, you know, and I fired or, you know, like traded them in for younger, quieter, cheaper models, whatever, however you want to look at it. A really great new band that I love. They are amazing. What a great bunch of guys to work with. But they are young, you know? And I guess one of them's here. Anyway, they are young, you know, and I just ask that, stop asking me if I'm any one of their moms, you know, like, come on. Like, I wouldn't let my kid play in a band with me. I have these 2 horn players, and they're twin brothers, and they're not even 30 yet, but they're both like losing their hair a little bit. And one of them comes up on stage after a show, and he's like, hey, that lady asked if you were our mom. And I was like, do I look old enough to have bald twins? My guitar player is the youngest of the crew. He's 12. And the first time we got together, I asked him for his email so that I could send him some stuff. And he was like, oh, it's Andy95@gmail.com. And I was like, please tell me that's your weight. And he goes, nope, that's the year I was born. I was like, that's the year I graduated high school. And he goes, that's cool. I was like, no, it's not. So, I mean, like, technically, I am old enough to be his mom, but I'll have you know, I wasn't even having sex in high school. No, I was a virgin till I was almost 20 years old. I was saving myself for anyone who was interested. So pure. I'm just glad that my business doesn't have an HR department, though, because, like, I know what I would get in trouble for. It would be like, Erin, can you stop pretending that the microphone is your penis and jerking it off at your bandmates every time you have to play Walkin' on Sunshine? You're like, I guess. That's a microaggression. I didn't finish. I did. Because I secretly love that song. Anyway, I don't. So I do love being a musician. The thing that I love the most about it is that I have a bird's eye view to some of the dumbest shit you have ever seen in your life. Like, I try to tell people the stories of it, and I never do it justice. It's never as good as what I'm seeing. Like, I wish I had like spy lenses so I could show people. Like, you know, one of my favorite things is how often people mispronounce my name, right? And it's Harkes, and some people think that it's Hart. And I'm like, you know, it's a common mistake. Like, I wish my last name was Hart. That would be a great stage name, right? People wouldn't fuck it up as much. It would be fantastic. This guy at the bar, he was like, Erin Harkes. And I was like, Harkes. And he goes, Erin Hart. And I go, Harkes. And he goes, yeah, I know you. And I'm like, I don't think you do. Now, my other favorite is a few years ago, I got to be, complete fluke, I got to be on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. And thank you. Really did a lot for me. Anyway, so I'll do that, and then like someone will come up to me. They're like, "Hey, you were on the Jimmy Kimmel, right?" And I'm like, "No, Fallon." They're like, "Are you sure?" Yeah, pretty sure. I at one point had my guitar case open in front of me with like blinking lights in it and like, you know, cards that people could take, but also, you know, you could tip. And then I had an additional tip cup next to it. And then I just so happened to have a merch case open with a glass jar that was just on it. And some guy was like, "You think that's overkill?" And I go, "Watch." Not even 5 minutes later, some dude almost crawls over top of me, using me to steady himself to try and put $5 into my coffee cup on the table behind me. I go, "Do you think I would make it that hard for you to give me money?" They walk up and try to hand it to me while I'm playing guitar. And they look all like, and I'm like, "Just drop it. I'm gonna get that money. I'll take my shoe off and pick it up with my fucking toe. Just drop it. I will get that money." I like to play a little trick on some drunk people sometimes, which it's not as bad as it sounds. You know, I'm helping them get to their bottom. It's fine. I'm doing them a service. And so I'm gonna like buy some merchandise. You know, it'll be like $15, and they give me a 20, and I'll go, let me get you some change. And then I just wait them out. I like pat myself down. I don't even have pockets. I'm just like, lock eyes, wait for them to give up. And finally they go, oh, just keep it. And I go, are you sure? Girls gotta make a living. I had this one woman come up to me one time, and she was like, are you ever playing again anywhere after this? And I said, no. This is my last show. I'm glad you're here. But my ultimate favorite thing is when I bump into people and they go, we've been meaning to come to your show. And I'm like, that's okay. And they're like, no, we've been meaning to come to your show. And I'm like, no, really, like, we don't have to do this. And they're like, no, I'm gonna convince you that I've been meaning to come to your show. And like, sometimes I have time, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. What's been keeping you? For 20 years. And they're ready. Like, well, you know, you always play like far out of town, don't you? Like up north and stuff like that. I'm like, no, actually, I just played like right down the road last night. They're like, yeah, but it's always so late, isn't it? I was like, no, that's not true either. Like last night I played at 4. They're like, well, I work till 5. I was like, well, I played till 6. Yeah, but you know, it's always like a weeknight. I go, that's also inaccurate. I've actually played pretty much every weekend without fail for the past 20 years. They're like, yeah, but, you know, it's always like a bar, you know? Like, I got my kids and blah, blah, blah. I was like, actually, these days I play more restaurants. They're pretty family friendly, or I play like, you know, outdoor events and stuff like that. You could bring your kids to it. And they're like, yeah, but it's not really a night out if I have to bring my kids. I'm like, then don't fucking come to my show! Let me walk down the street. God. I'll be in your yard on Sunday. Oh, you're out of town this weekend? Okay, I figure. So it's nice to be back, and nights like this are amazing. Thank you guys again so much for coming out tonight for this. This has been tremendous. Thank you. You know, and it feels like we're back, right? It feels like we're back, right? And one of the things that I will miss, and I know it sounds silly to say, one of the things that I will miss about the pandemic is not wearing a bra. Ladies, am I right? It is a kind of freedom that you can't really explain to a man. And men will be like, you know, oh, we have to wear underpants. I'm like, first of all, no, you don't. No one's gonna notice. Secondly, until you have had an underwire stab you in your spanch, I don't want to fucking hear from you. Occasionally, you know, and I know what's happening up here. I'm 45. Like, there's gravity involved. There's a reason this shirt is this long, okay? Like, but occasionally I would like throw on like a sports bra, not a very good sports bra, like just enough to like keep them off the floor. Just enough to not completely terrorize the Uber Eats driver as he waited at the bottom of the stairs with my food. When I barreled at him all like teeth and fangs, like, ah! Like The Rock and Indiana Jones. And every bad behavior has its rock bottom. And for me, mine should have been the night I was gently trotting up the basement stairs, and I thought something was chasing me, but it was the sound of my titty bouncing off the core of my body. That's the sound it made, that clapping sound. That's what it sounded like. Like, ah! Most exercise I got the whole pandemic. And you know, they have a mind of their own, and you know, no matter how many hot flashes I'm having, I somehow manage to always, like, the turkey's done. I don't know what's going on. They're just always like, point it out, time to play. Like, hard nipples. You guys getting it? All right, we all have them. Let's fucking relax. I don't care that they're hard. I don't care, right? I just want to make sure that they're pointing in the same direction. Like, I don't want, like, one looking at you, one looking for you, you know? Like, my tits have Schenectady eye. Anyone here from Schenectady? Up here. Up here. But the hardest thing now, though, is that they're kind of like outdoor cats. And I just can't get them back in the house. Thank you guys so much.